I'm Madison and welcome back to my channel, MaddCrafty. Today I'm going to show you how I easily made this 3-tier tray. You can do it with just paint, or you can be a little extra and add some resin like I'm going to do, but this was really easy. You can get this stuff for super cheap at Michael's, so let me show you how to do it.
Okay, so I got these wooden trays for $1 each at Michael's. Bargain. Remember to take the stickers off first, and then I'm just sanding down some rough edges with some sandpaper I got at the dollar store, but this step is not necessary. I used these wooden spools that I also got at Michael's. I then used some pink acrylic paint to paint all of my wooden items. I have these wooden doll heads that I use for trays because of their flat bottom, so I painted those as well, actually just one of them. Next, I used some wood glue and glued the pieces together just like this. I waited an hour for them to dry completely, and once they were dry, I used the wood glue and glued the tray together just like this. And wow, the pink looks way better in the natural light. So you can stop here and use your tray as is, or you can give it a coat of Mod Podge like I'm doing, but again, this is not necessary. So if you want to stop and use your tray, go ahead, or if you want to be a little bougie like me, I'm going to mix some resin because I cannot help myself. Now, all resin brands have slightly different directions on how to stir, but the common denominator is that you need equal parts resin and hardener, and you want to follow the directions specifically and measure correctly. Friendly warning, and this has happened to me plenty of times, if you don't have the exact measurements, your resin will not harden correctly. That could mean a sticky surface, which would make your tray pointless, so watch some resin for beginner videos on YouTube, throw some gloves on, and make sure you're doing it with focus and in a ventilated room. Okay, now I followed my resin directions and I'm going to add some fun sprinkles. God, I love sprinkles. But the tricky part about sprinkles is depending on what kind they are, they sometimes float to the top. So we're going to do 2 separate coats of resin. For the first coat, we're just going to evenly spread the sprinkles around and make sure they're covering the entire bottom of the tray. We're going to wait a day for that to dry, so that's going to act as the glue to make sure the sprinkles do not float. I'm using a heat gun to pop some bubbles before I let it sit overnight. You can see me touching it now the day after, and there aren't any loose sprinkles. Everything has stuck down. That's what we want. And now I'm going to mix up another small amount of resin to add on top so that we have a flat surface. So I've poured my clear resin layer on off camera. Here is what it looks like. I also again used the heat gun to pop any bubbles, and now I am going to let it sit overnight once again.
Thank you so much for watching, and again, if you are ever using resin, please remember, always wear gloves, wear a face mask, and do it in an area with ventilation because this stuff, you don't want to inhale it. If you liked this video, I would love if you could give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel to see more crafts. You can find me on Instagram at MaddCrafty, and I will see you next time. Bye!